Just seeing kayakers and canoers out on the lake here this morning. Just,
it's very peaceful here.
Very, very peaceful. I gotta say, this is almost as impressive as the actual Grand Canyon. We're fixing to jump in a truck and do a little day trip from Kolomoki State Park here, the Kolomoki Mounds, and we're going to head over to Providence Canyon and check out the Little Grand Canyon
of Georgia.
Yeah. So, beautiful morning. We had a great breakfast, and just seeing kayakers and canoers out on the lake here this morning. Just,
it's very peaceful here.
Very, very peaceful. Yeah. Very quiet park too.
Mm-hmm.
Visited Providence Canyon State Park 2 days.
Right.
2 different days.
And the first day we decided to go down into the canyon to see all the trails that they provided for you to check it out.
Yeah, it was about a quarter-mile hike down to the bottom, fairly steep and easy going down.
Yeah, easy going down, definitely.
Yeah. One thing I will say, it was roughly 72 degrees on these days that we went. But in the bottom of the canyon, it felt like it was at least 92 degrees.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that in the summertime, it would be fairly hot to be hiking at the bottom of this canyon.
Right. So definitely make sure that you bring plenty of water and snacks with you.
Yeah, definitely need to bring a backpack and bring water and the things that you're going to need, because you will dehydrate quickly down there.
Right.
Kind of tough. Yeah.
So I just climbed. Oh, wait. I'm out of breath. This is awesome. This is pretty spectacular.
Oh yeah, real easy. Nice.
My butt's gonna be nasty.
Oh yeah, awesome. We ended up going, there was a few different trails you could go. There was a 7-mile hike, and that included some backcountry backpacking, so you could camp down there. Mm-hmm. There was another trail, I think it was like 3 miles long. The way we went, we actually went to canyons like 1 and 2 to start with, and then there was another offshoot that went to 3 through 5, I believe. Mm-hmm. By the time we got done with that, we were pretty tired.
Exactly, and it was really neat because every so often you would see these different break-off points where you could just climb up and check out the scenery from that point, and
yeah,
it's just so neat.
So yeah, we're hiking along the upper part of the overlooks. Matter of fact, I think we need to go over there. There's a squirrel. We are just going to look at the canyon from above today to make the hiking easy. We actually have a playground here at the park. Yeah, little playground here. So as we're walking here, there's so many absolutely breathtaking views along this top rim.
The colors are incredible.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Let me see if I can turn to where you can see what's right behind us right now. I gotta say, this is almost as impressive as the actual Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
In some ways, we're enjoying it a little bit more just because we're not freezing. There's such crazy vivid colors in the soil. It's not rock like the Grand Canyon, but it looks like it. So this is a nice little trail above the rim here. Okay, so we've gotten back from stocking up on a few canned goods and such, and we are going to take a nice evening stroll down here to finally get to check out the mounds. We've only been in this state park, what now, 3 days?
Yeah, we finally are checking them out.
3 days. We've driven by them plenty of times, and we haven't actually got out and hiked them yet. So we are here at the Kolomoki Mounds, and we are on the trail leading from the parking lot, and we're going to head over here, and as I'm looking past the camera right here, we're looking at the tallest mound out here, which I believe they think was what, a temple mound, right? Mm-hmm. And this is the mound that we're getting ready to climb.
There's stairs that lead up.
Yeah, there's stairs on the other side over here, but this is the pathway from the parking lot where you can park to walk these and hike these trails, somewhat trails. It's pretty much an open field here, as you can see. Pretty cool. So right here is a little information talking about the mound. Right, there's a mound right here. This is Mound B. It's kind of, you can see it. It's not a very big mound. But they're talking about maybe that there were ceremonial games played here. I mean, just to look at it, if this was anywhere else, I would just think that's just a little hill.
Yeah.
Tiny little bump. So correction, I thought originally that was the mound, but in looking at the map, technically, I guess this area here was the mound.
Yeah, well, you can see now. You can see that the circle is right in front of Mound A.
Yeah, and it's more of a depression here. I guess that's where this man named William Sears began excavating in 1949. So I guess it was pretty much destroyed.
And they found 2 poles.
Yeah, found 2 poles. That's why they think there was ceremonial games there. Okay, so we're going to head on to what is the next Mound A? Mound A, yeah. Mound A is the main mound right here. Mm-hmm. So now we're looking right at the front of the Temple Mound A, and according to this, it says it would have taken over 11.5 million 1-gallon buckets of dirt to create this. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say how many years it took them to complete it. Pretty amazing.
Like how they just would keep carrying buckets, and they were just, I guess there were different layers of clay that they used. And they could see like a white layer and a red layer. Okay, what we just discovered was that at the base of the mound that we're on right now, this whole area were all dwellings. And there was actually a wall that was enclosed part of the
plaza.
Yeah, the plaza. Up here at the top of this mound that we're on now was actually the house of the chief priest.
They think.
Yeah.
I don't think they know for sure.
Well, this side was higher than this side over here, and that's what they think, that his house was right up here.
And I actually noticed that before we actually read the information here. I said, like, it's higher on this side. So, yeah, they think the chief priest lived up here, and this was definitely some sort of ceremonial mound. Very cool.
Yep.
We actually were going to try to check out this mound exhibit at the visitor center on the evening before we left, when we were actually scoping out the mounds and all that area. They were closed.
So we ended up going the next day, actually our day that we were leaving, and the Mound E is actually built they built the visitor center around the Mound E.
Yeah, they excavated it and dissected it, and you can see what the contents of it were.
Yeah, and they found a lot of shards and broken pottery, and
Yeah.
they actually found a couple of tree stumps in there, and so it was pretty cool being able
Yeah.
to see everything inside. Plus, they had a video that they could share information about the history of the Kolomoki Mounds.
Yeah, and I think it's the Creek Indian tribe that they believe, inhabited the area.
And finally, there were none at all. Trees grew where people once worked, played, and worshipped. Even the great mounds slumped back towards the earth, seemingly taking their secrets with them.
It was really cool walking around in there and seeing the pottery that they had found and glued back together, and then they had a whole museum adjacent to it, which is all the things that they found and archaeologically in the area.
And they showed that the tool they used to actually do all of the excavating,
Yeah.
and they showed some of the pottery that the Native American tribes had created. Your favorite was what?
The duck.
Yeah, the little ducky.
I love the duck.
Yeah, he was cute.
And another thing that was one of my favorites is right here, and this was showing the funeral. Basically how they would conduct a funeral, I suppose.
Yeah, and people that would pass away that they really cared about, they would bring gifts to them and
Cremate them.
Yeah, cremate them.
And then just all these things that they found in the mounds, arrowheads and shells and
Things they like jewelry making and
yeah,
food that they ate and
yeah. We also had this like overview basically of the whole area there, like a little miniature model of
Right.
the whole
so you could see
plaza complex.
right where you could see all the mounds where they were laid out.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the little buds. Spring has sprung.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Original owners of this property. The graves are located on a small rise, preferred location for late 18th and early 19th century cemeteries.
So this is the Mercier family who owned this property, and these are their grave sites.
Okay, so one of the favorite things that we love looking for is covered bridges, and I knew that would be a possibility here, and especially in this old town. And the name of this bridge is called the Coley Creek Covered Bridge, and it's actually has a little gate here where you can go through. There's like a park on the other side.
It's locked off right now, though.
It's all locked.
Yeah.
But you can see there's like signs on the other side where it gives information about something.
And it looks like a park on the other side, like a little park.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it's closed. Maybe they just open on certain days. I don't know, but still cool getting to see the covered bridge itself here.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have decided to take a little trip from the Providence Grand Canyon over to Union Springs, Alabama. It's about a little over an hour drive that it took to get here. This is basically the hometown my mom was born in and raised in, and we haven't been here in about 10 years since my grandmother passed away, and just wanted to check out the town and see what any changes that have been made or what have you. And My grandfather actually owned a cafe called Holmes Cafe here in Union Springs, and he and his brother Wade, Uncle Wade, and so it is now changed to FPH Bakery. And I took a little tour inside to look around, and they've really changed it into a beautiful bakery. It's so nice inside. And
Your grandma also had a
and then my
store.
grandmother, yeah, she had a store, a gift store called Rosenstill's, and now it's an actual eyeglass place. They did do some eye exams and things there inside the gift. There was like a little part there, and but now it's just eyeglass store. We also, as we drove in, we were looking at my grandparents' home, and they had the most beautiful southern home, and it's not looking good now. Like the wood is rotting and it needs to be painted, and it's just so sad to see that it used to be such a beautiful home that it's really looking rough now. And I was talking to the lady at the bakery, and she was saying that a lot of the homes around this area that used to be really nice and beautiful are just really becoming dilapidated homes. And it's just really sad to see something that I grew up with, the town that I would come here often to see my grandparents, just not what it once was. Just sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to come back and see it.
So after visiting Providence Canyon, like Alli said, we headed over to Union Springs. At this point, we just kind of walked around the town and checked out a lot of the old buildings.
Right, and you know, of course, obviously, I would remember the buildings that my mom and grandparents would take me to the most, but it was really interesting seeing the other buildings too. And I did some research later about some of the buildings. Like Josephine was definitely a cool historical building.
It was a hotel, right?
It was, yep.
And I guess in talking to a new friend that we made there, she was telling us that all these murals that they've painted here are new.
Yep, trying to really
revitalize the area.
Right.
Or revitalize the town.
Mm-hmm.
So a really cool old historic town. So on our way back from Union Springs to the campground, we discovered
Eufaula, Alabama.
it was just a cool little town. And I was like, you want to stop and kind of walk the town and scope it out?
Now, I've actually heard of it before, but I don't think I've really been through it.
I never had.
And
yeah.
check it out. So
It was St. Patty's Day, so we walked down to a little bar restaurant, Mexican bar restaurant, and felt really bad because of all that's going on right now. Obviously, not many people out.
Right, there was one family inside, and then we were outside. We had a couple of drinks and chips, and
We ended up heading back, but it was a cool old, another cool old town with a lot of old buildings and history.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this video, and drop us a like, and if you haven't already subscribed, we would appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button and ring the bell.
Right, so you can follow us on our journey.
And we want to give a special shout out to a lot of you probably already know that I own my own business, lawn maintenance business, and it was funny, one day I was mowing, and one of my customers for many years came out and he was like, "Hey, are you Alli Chuck Adventures?" And I was like, "Yep." He had actually just found us and discovered us on YouTube by chance.
Yeah, he and his wife are a very super couple. They're really sweet.
Yep.